I'm
Are
playing
you ready
Fix-
for a good time? What are you doing with your head? Are you hiding? Okay. Well, the fight that had taken place had gravely taxed on young Ahsoka's mind. Her willpower was strong, rivaling the rest of her people, but was still waning caustically. Whoever this self-proclaimed Mad Hatter was certainly proved himself. But in the end, the light had overtaken the dark. The entire time he had been taunting the young girl about how much he wanted her to join him.
Call me Alice. One more time, and I'm putting you in the ground.
Ahsoka cried with frustration, managing to parry one of Hatter's aloof swipes with his vorpal rapier.
I know why you're running. You can be safe here with me forever.
The high-pitched laugh that came from the excitable Jervis Tetch next echoed through Tano's mind, making her stagger. Felt like her skull was vibrating, coming alive, moments from bursting like a ripe melon. Her succumbing to rage and fear broke the maddening pain.
Stop.
I really thought you'd go screaming. I held my ears closed a little bit.
Thought about it. I really thought about it. But I didn't want that.
Ahsoka's scream hit the Hatter with the force of a tank blast, plowing him back onto his feet, and even then sliding still while his hat rolled off his head. With a panicked wince, Jervis rolled onto his front and scrambled over to the tool on his hands and knees. I've been working up the saliva from the reading.
Please. No, not my hat. I shan't be seen without my...
Tetch's short arm couldn't reach his prized tool in time. Ahsoka's lightsaber coursed through the air, spiraling before spearing into the exotic mountain of green textile. Jervis wailed in dismay like a child having his favorite toy taken away as he felt his grip on Wonderland slipping. One of his main mind control devices being shattered right before his eyes with a bright green plume of smoke. Immediately, the Mad Hatter fell into sobs as he did on his side, curling into a fetal position as Tano's mind suddenly relaxed. What?
It was that goofy thing that was doing it, huh? That makes sense. Now get me out of here, you creep.
Ahsoka folded her arms, her sabers deactivated. Okay. She bit her lip in frustration, unable to hook them to her belt like normal, since her clothes had been changed to that wretched Alice dress. Never minding it, she continued staring down the pitiful man as he turned to her, now scooting on his behind away from her with a newfound terror.
All I ever wanted was to have a friend. She was taken away from me. Please, Alice. Don't go.
For the last time, my name is not Alice. It's Ahsoka. Ahsoka. Get me out of here, you worm.
I took that directly from the Discord because that was funny.
Yeah, cut, go, May.
I'll have you someday. I won't fail you. And we can be happy. Forever.
Jervis curled in more on himself as he twitched, his eyes stinging with tears and becoming bloodshot. Soon the world around Ahsoka dissolved, and she found herself standing in an oddly gothic hat shop. Say that 3 times fast, dear God. She must have found herself back in Gotham City! Earth. At least she was a bit safer. Her clothes were normal, and the spiraling in her head was dialing down. Before her, Jervis Tetch was still sitting against the wall, with his knees in his chest and his face buried in his thighs. Part of Ahsoka wanted to kill him where he sat. Part of her just wanted to leave, but naturally a part of her told her to do the right thing. To be a hero. Begrudgingly, Tano's blue eyes narrowed.
You're a sad and lonely man. You know that?
Tetch sniffled loudly. I'm aware. Go. Go away. You're not the one for me.
I can help you. You definitely seemed like you needed it. The Empire will ruin you if they find you. I suggest you go find a safer place to stay.
How can I be safe if my only precious haven was stolen from me?
Jervis looked up, hopeless and afraid and lost.
How can I find help without the love to guide me through it?
Ahsoka didn't know what to say. She didn't feel like arguing anymore. She bowed her head, growled a rushed sorry, before turning and leaving. The cold winter of Gotham hit Tano in the face, making her orange skin flush darker. At least she was safe for now. But something told her she would find her way back to that hat shop again. Or at least find herself on some other journey, as she saw the shape of a bat imprint in the clouds.
Hey.
Now Ahsoka fights Batman.
Yeah, Ahsoka fights Batman. Yeah.
I don't see any reason for her to, but I mean, Mortal Kombat wise.
Yeah,
she would.
well, Batman's kind of a jerk, so it doesn't surprise me that he'd be like, "You're not from around here. I need to look you over." No!
Well, like, she wouldn't, in
No.
all, like, seriousness,
Yeah.
they wouldn't fight. Because she actually kind of has similar shit to him, where, like, the not killing.
Yeah, kinda, except they both kill people.
They both.
They both kill people, but they say they don't kill people.
Oh, yeah. They both claim peace, and then it's like, no.
Yeah, exactly that. No. So that
Where are
was
they?
when Ahsoka Mactano wins the fight. She made it out safely. Ahsoka makes it from Wonderland. And now she's there to wander Gotham City and potentially meet the Batman and other villains that will make her very spooked. But what will happen if the Mad Hatter wins? Go check it out in the description below.
He doesn't.
Wrong. You're weird.
I am weird.
The fight that had taken place had gravely taxed on Ahsoka's mind. Her willpower was strong, rivaling the rest of her people, but was still waning caustically. Whoever the self-proclaimed Mad Hatter was certainly proved himself. In the end, she had lost. She couldn't fight anymore. Her brain hurt to think, let alone resist whatever powers was being asserted over her. Every stab from Jervis Tetch's vorpal rapier was killing more and more of her brain cells. Kinda reminds me of how some people talk. Even if her soul became one with the Force, her body and mind were still all too broken.
Now, Alice, please take a seat. My, you've forgotten your table manners. Goodness me, gracious thee, why don't you take a seat?
Jervis's emphasis on seat, young Skywalker, became more biting as Tetch disarmed Ahsoka's frail body, shoving her into a large wicker chair. It rocked and creaked as the ex-Jedi smacked into it, surprisingly not tipping the thing over. I'm not saying she's fat, I'm just saying she hit the chair hard. Oh, okay, you're just smiling at me cryptically. That's spooky. No! Circling around her, hands and... That pain in my chest is my soul leaving my body. Okay. No. Circling around her, hands and arms extended to hold her down. I don't like this anymore. Her wrists and ankles were fastened in, and no matter how much she struggled, it felt like she was having the worst case of sleep paralysis she could imagine. Do Jedi get sleep paralysis?
Probably. I bet you Anakin has it.
Yeah, you don't have limbs. That's not sleep paralysis, that's paralysis.
That's mean. You know that's not what I meant.
I'm just saying. Surrounding her peripheral were faces of her memory. Those she loved, and those she hated. Leaning in closest and jeering at her, in the Hatter's voice, were two men she adored most, but horribly contorted. Anakin Skywalker grinned with a childish giggle, his face drawn up into a tight smile that reeked of plastic surgery to fit the profile of the White Rabbit. Ears standing wickedly from his messy brown hair. His front teeth were also hideously overgrown, peering over his bottom lip with an extended jaw that made Tano gag. On her other side was Obi-Wan Kenobi. His ears also extended out from the sides of his head, and a wispy little rat's tail that jabbed into Ahsoka's nose or the tendrils on her head. Quite obviously, his timid and pacifistic nature was manifested in the form of a warped dormouse. Strolling up casually and twirling his rapier to exchange it for a fun and fancy cane, the Mad Hatter sighed with a lazy smile as he leaned into Ahsoka's personal space.
Are we finished with this? Will you now feel my bliss, or will you make this a waste? Have my tea. Please have a taste.
What?
Wake up! Ahsoka droned as the Mad Hatter took off his hat and withdrew a lovely piece of white china from it. A teapot made of something from England long ago. The Dormouse Kenobi used his tail again to flick at Ahsoka's nose, eventually plugging it completely. That nasty. Jervis, after patting Obi-Wan on the top of his head with one of his primly gloved hands, dashed in and stuffed the teapot spout between Tano's teeth. She did her best to shake her head, but the chokehold being applied by the Rabbit Skywalker held her firm. So she drank, and then some more.
Accept my gifts, young lovely snips. Fall with me to my Wonderland Palace and undertake your inner dear sweet Alice.
Jervis snickered as he wiped some of the tea Ahsoka was gargling down from her chin with his thumb. Steam was fuming from her nose as it scalded her terribly, removing her ability to scream. Every lapping blast down her throat blew more of her willpower away. Her head was swimming, as were her insides, feeling terribly sick. Her crying eyes eventually shut, her tears moving along her face to form a lovely shade of darker blue mascara by Hatter's design. A wet bursting sound came from the Wonderland forest like someone had crushed a water balloon, but surprisingly, Ahsoka found herself awake. Her eyes opened, foggy and without focus, as she fell down the rabbit hole all over again before her back hit heavy against the large party table the Hatter made famous. Her dress was drenched with tea stains, presenting the lovely aroma of roses and sunflowers. Already waiting for her, Jarvis Tetch was cleaning off a large serving knife as the party guests arrived. Obi-Wan Kenobi as the Dormouse, Anakin Skywalker as the White Rabbit, and now Asajj Ventress as the Cheshire Cat. Tano was catatonic at this point, her eyelid twitching as she laid there. She messed up! The Mad Hatter patted her cheek gently with the flat side of his serving knife, humming a circus melody to himself.
It seems you've taken quite a tumble, Alice. We would love to have you for cake and tea. Shall we let her join us, friends? Shall we? Shall we?
Tetch raised his hands like a conductor as the tablemate shouted loud, "Hear, hears!" Ahsoka coughed some, awakening from a terrible nightmare as more tea globbed from her gullet. Sitting up and holding her head, She turned as if drunk and animated by marionette strings to face the smaller Jervis Tetch beside her. I don't like the movements. Her eyes were misty and soft before she mumbled her first words all over again.
Alice?
She finally uttered the word, sounding prim and happy with herself for such progress. The Mad Hatter's eyes widened with joy before suddenly cackling in celebration, pulling Ahsoka off the table and dancing with her in wild rotations as she kissed his face and neck. His rosy cheeks bloomed, overcome with such ecstasy and fulfillment that he had no reason left to fight anymore. For once in his life, Jervis Tetch won. That was sadly interrupted. The sounds of a door being broken down echoed somewhere, off in his peripheral consciousness. Gritting his teeth and screaming to the skies in rage, he huddled the brain-dead ex-Jedi closer to his chest like a stuffed animal as the large wings of a bat loomed over his beautiful sunset sky. Ew! Disgusting!
Nasty.
The marionette thing kinda was the thing that messed me up the most. The whole,
Yeah, I
herky
kinda
jerky.
figured.
The herky jerky.
You don't like the herky jerky.
I don't like it. Stop.
Like, I'll say herky jerky doesn't quite bother me as much, but it definitely gets you.
No! Stop moving like that. That's not allowed. That's okay, because that kind of looks like Night of the Roxbury. Just but I mean, like, the whole...
Alright, I'm coming for your kneecaps.
Okay. But the whole thing of her getting off the table where it's almost like she's being lifted by something, and it's just like... That's not right. People don't move like that. No, I don't like spoopy snips. I don't
You'll
like
be
it.
alright.
No, I
You'll be
won't.
okay.
No!
I'm fine.
No.
You'll be alright.
No.
Sorry, I just sneezed.
Ah ha ha ha.
It's either you got a really loud sneeze or you just see me pinch my nose.
I would be a little distraught if after reading this you sneezed tea.
It might happen.
Oh, great. Cool. Fascinating. So what part did you like about that the most? I don't think I liked writing any of it. Not because it was bad, but because it was messed up.
I like how you're asking what I liked most when it's like my favorite character being tortured. You're asking the wrong person.
She kind
I
of...
like the ending when there's hints that Batman's about to fuck his shit up.
But, she kind of has a happy ending. She's happy and it's an ending.
She's not happy. Alice is happy.
You know, that's a good point, and that's kind of messed up you phrase it that way. Ahsoka is gone now.
That was a large ass bubble. Like, I don't know.
You know,
It was good. Like,
I
good writing.
didn't. I'll be honest with you. I wrote it, read back through it, and I'm just like, that's disgusting.
I could tell you don't like it because you read really fast. You like sounded uncomfortable.
Part of me was just being very uncomfortable, and part of me was actually trying to keep it in like the Hatter's point of view, where he's very hyperactive and bouncy. But yeah, I was trying to finish it because I was like, oh, this is the bad part. This is the bad, like, it's the part of the movie where you tell the kids like cover their eyes. It's like, nope, we're gonna fast forward. Nope, nope, nope. But I can't just say like,
Rapist.
Yeah. I just, it's true to the character, and I'm proud of myself that I wrote that, but I also feel so nasty, so nasty that
Yeah, you should. Look what you did to Ahsoka.
I'm sorry. But look on the
You
bright side.
vulnerable.
Now we have now we have dear sweet Alice. No, I don't.
Man, and all she wants is a family, not one that's gonna brainwash her like, the Jedi did. Yeah. Yeah, look what you did.
But she's happy. She's very happy. She was even doing the smooches.
Was Ahsoka doing the smooches, or was Alice doing the
Did I
smooches?
write Ahsoka or did I write Alice?
You know what I mean. Stop getting around it.
No. I think Ahsoka might have found a happy place to stay. From the Empire and from the evil people and everything. She's safe in
Oh,
one
no, no,
room.
no, no. A powerful Jedi just died. I'm pretty sure someone felt that.
But she's not technically dead.
Well, I mean, I can imagine that now she's brain Kronos. Hey, look, even Kronos is unhappy.
He's never happy, so that's not a defense.
That's true. He's always angry. But like, I can imagine eventually the Empire's gonna come and like.
To Earth?
I can see it happening. I'm waiting. It might take a bit, but I have a feeling that they're coming.
From a galaxy far, far away a long time ago?
Oh yeah.
What purpose would they
Look,
have to go to Earth?
I know that predict aliens coming to Earth.
But
And
why
just
would they need to come to Earth when their powers rely elsewhere, like far, far away from us? They don't need to come here.
divide and conquer.
That is not an answer.
Look, you run out of resources eventually, so I mean, you gotta expand.
Of an entire, like, galaxy, bigger galaxy's worth?
Yep.
And instead of just doing, the next best thing right next to you, you have to go all the way to Earth.
Look, I can see it. Eventually, we're gonna see a galaxy explode from Earth, and we're all gonna freak out. But I'm gonna be prepared, because I know the Empire's coming. You know what I'm gonna do?
Come with me.
You said that like Hatter, so I don't know about that.
Come with me where you'll be safe forever.
Darth Vader will fuck your shit.
Detestable.
But just say it.
Detestable. Seems someone's forgotten their manners.
I'm also not like Alice at all, so go away.
Well, what you see what happened was at the end of my story, that actually did happen. So technically, now you are.
Yeah, I'm not like Alice, so leave me alone.
Except for the fact that happened.
What happened?
That Ahsoka was Aliceified.
Yeah, Ahsoka was, I wasn't.
Hey. The thing is, though, is she forever gone, or is she somehow going to be able to come out of it like Widowmaker?
Well, I think it just depends on who's presented in front of her.
And who writes the story?
Who writes the story, yeah,
I wrote both, but still, I don't feel good.
can't imagine many would feel good after that.
Some people are into that.
I didn't need that in my head.
I'm just saying you can't make a blanket statement without all the facts.
Maybe I didn't want all the facts.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't have made a blanket statement.
Well, leave me alone.
No. You must stay here with me. Forever!
There's a pretty red button right here, I'm just saying.
What, like a tactical nuke? Oh, he just... it's the Yoda button.
No, I'm saying the leave button.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not getting no, don't you turn sad on me. You were
Oh.
just Mad Hatter earlier.
I suppose it was...
What?
I...
English?
But it's... But... Um... I... I... I think she's happy. I think she's fine. Everything's great in the world. This is just a bad dream that we can all wake up from and move on.
I think Ahsoka is now not Ahsoka anymore, and the Force is unbalanced, and you know,
But
I
that
think
doesn't mean
we
she...
lost all the good traits Ahsoka had.
But that doesn't mean that she's dead. She still exists in the Force.
You know, hold on. You just said, why would the Empire come to Earth? Which basically means we're not gonna get Ahsoka back. So yeah, she kind of is dead.
Not necessarily. I mean, that's like saying the Force is unbalanced because Anakin Skywalker turned to Darth Vader. They're like, at least psychologically
No.
speaking, they're two different people.
I'm just saying, Ahsoka really is, kind of dead. Because she's never going to use the Force again. Probably never going to use her sabers. Barely has any memory of, like, her family. And doesn't even act like Ahsoka anymore. And the Empire, like, no Star Wars character, from your argument that you just gave me, they would not come to Earth. Ahsoka's gone. Like, her body's there, but gone.
It doesn't sway the weight of the Force, though.
It doesn't. I'll admit, I'm wrong there. But Ahsoka's gone.
No, she could...
How?
The story ends with Batman showing up. Maybe he can do something. I don't know.
What is Batman gonna do? Batman's like, what the is there an alien strapped to a chair?
She would probably be doing something else, but nevertheless, I'm just saying. This is not the first time he's dealt with Hatter's victims. I'm sure he would figure out how to reverse the effects, and even if she winds up a little messed up, she'd come back.
Knowing how reversing the effects work in Gotham, it's the worst possible thing. So he's gonna reverse the effects, yeah, but she's not gonna have memory of jack shit.
What do you mean? The one girl that that in Arkham Origins is perfectly fine. And all the cops that he goes after in Arkham Knight are perfectly fine too. They wake up from a nappy time and they're like, oh man, I was in a police car. I was in my trunk with the sirens on. Man, thanks for saving me, Batman. I'm gonna go home and make a peanut butter sandwich. They're fine.
How much hypnosis did they go through, though?
I don't know. It's not like pizza toppings. It's not like how much hypnosis do you want. No, it's just hypnosis or no hypnosis. Let it or unlet it.
No matter what, Ahsoka is not happy. She is gone.
Maybe sometimes being happy is removing the worst parts of yourself.
No, she didn't. But he didn't just remove the worst parts.
No,
She he removed her independence and like free will thinking. What is a hand gesture? What do you mean? That's not like a maybe he did. He did.
I mean, other than a new identity crisis, I don't see what the issue is. She can still think on her own. See, she can perfectly think on her own. She was the one that said Alice, not him, and then she willingly gave smooches.
You mean after she was practically brainwashed into thinking she was Alice?
Can we call it that though? I mean, we don't. I mean, other than like a little bit of play
No,
fight,
that's basically what this whole thing is. It
other
might be
than
hypnosis.
a little bit of fighting, he just kind of talks to her a lot, and eventually she just kind of falls down a hole, and then there's.
Hold on, hold on. You said that was the ending. Those 3 pages are the ending, so we don't know the whole fight.
Yeah. But based on what I have so far, these are my conclusions. Because I wrote them.
Because you wrote them.
And I don't see you writing them. I can make whatever
I could.
conclusions I want from my writing.
You wanted to. If you want me to write endings, I will. You're the one who wanted to do the endings.
I'm still right.
You're like completely forgetting all of. I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
I didn't even get to hear the end of your sentence. I don't know what happened there.
No, don't worry about it. You just don't want to admit that basically Ahsoka's gone. Ahsoka's.
She's still there! Perfectly fine. I'd say even happier than she was before. All of her PTSD, all of her problems, they all went away. That's what Wonderland's all about.
Do you think Anakin would approve of how Ahsoka is? Would
Maybe
Obi-Wan or Rex?
Obi-Wan is such a Puritan, though. He would say no if to the sky being blue if the Jedi told him that it was red. However, Rex is kind of gruff on the edges anyway, so he's got his own issues, and I'm sure Anakin Skywalker.
No. I'm asking, what would they think? Not their personality. What would Rex think?
I'm eliminating your options because they're faulty. That's what I'm doing.
No, they're not. Those are all her best friends. What would her family think?
Well, I'm telling you how their logic would be completely faulty and why I'm eliminating them from this course.
No, you're just. It's not just because he's rough around the edges doesn't mean his opinion is faulty.
I didn't get to finish because you cut me off.
Continue.
He's going through his own issues at the moment, including breaking away from the brain chip in his head from the Order 66 thing, trying to escape and doing all of this stuff. He doesn't know where Ahsoka went after whatever, so I'm sure he's got other things on his mind. And I'm pretty sure that after all the horrible things that Anakin has been through, he wouldn't mind at least tasting a little bit of what true bliss could be like, just to stop being in pain. Because this is before, with how you've set the Star Wars lineage, this is before he meets Luke. So he doesn't know anything about that yet. He just wants to stop being in pain. And what a way to do that than to come to Wonderland.
You're not answering my question. My question.
I just did.
No. You said what Anakin would like if he was given the hypnosis. I'm asking, what would Anakin think of Ahsoka as she is with the ending you just gave?
He'd be a little wigged out at first, but eventually with some convincing, I'm sure he would take part of it. Especially if it's Vader, because he's, constantly in pain. even Anakin, as a normal Anakin, is constantly in pain. But with the way you said it, it'd be Darth Vader at that point. So it'd be emotional and physical pain that he would be releasing. Plus, if he's in Wonderland and,
Do you think he's perfectly okay with seeing his little sister make out with some dude who hypnotized her? It basically is gaslighting her.
I'm not saying that fight would not ensue immediately, but considering the Empire is not surrounding him when he goes into Wonderland, he doesn't have to play a front. He's already fought Ahsoka, so he's perfectly fine with that kind of damage and whatever, especially since he's psychologically fucked up in his... Eventually, it would just come to the question of, does he want his pain relieved? And I feel like, at that point in time, he would say yes.
So he's just gonna completely forget about Ahsoka and that she's fucking a dude that she doesn't even love. Like, actually love.
If Hatter's not trying to kill him and instead trying to break his mind, he would just have two Alices. Two's better than one.
I can't tell if you're playing with me right now, if you're being serious.
Going off of how Mad Hatter operates, I'm actually kind of being serious.
I'm trying not to laugh, but hearing you laugh is
Cause you're so
let me tell you
distraught.
why Obi-Wan is, since you're not going to take Anakin, let me tell you why Obi-Wan actually is a valid opinion. This is the time after Order 66, so he's not with the Jedi Order, and he kind of follows along Qui-Gon's belief of Jedi Council's kind of...
Took him long enough.
He's old Ben Kenobi.
He's Alec Guinness, yeah, he's on Tatooine, yeah.
So, he has a good soul, and he's seen a lot.
Yeah, he's
Like,
PTSD.
he's seen Anakin on the dark side, he's seen Ahsoka on the dark side, he watched his, like, wife get murdered. Like, he's seen brainwashing, he's seen what it can do. He also knows that he has a very good moral of what's right and what's wrong. How do you think he'd react to seeing Ahsoka brainwashed and doing things that would probably be against her moral and her will if they were there?
Oh, he would freak out, but it would be so easy for him to break that why not just take that pain away, go on the Wonderland train. That's 3 Alices now, man, and he's gonna be easier to deal with than Anakin is. I'm talking Jedi orgy.
I'm trying to think of the line of, like, that explains why pure ecstasy is a bad thing, but I can't think of it. So you're saying that that Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka would all, well, not Ahsoka, but Anakin and Obi-Wan would lose to Mad Hatter, give up free will and free thinking to possibly be happy in some messed up wonderland.
Maybe not at first, but with some convincing.
You say with some convincing. That convincing involves, like, tying them down to a chair, getting hypnotized, going through a messed up wonderland of all the bad shit that's happened in their lives.
Okay, so
To
do you think
break
he
them
uses
down
the same
enough.
method for everyone? No,
Why would
it's
he use happy?
no. He would use different methods depending on who he's dealing with. He's
Obi-Wan's also the master of the mind trick. Why would he fall for any of it?
a little bit of convincing. Tetch has
You know,
his way
that's,
with words.
okay, a little bit of convincing isn't gonna save you for everything. Because
Jervis
you're
is
just saying a
convincing.
little bit of convincing. You're not giving what the convincing is.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
Not really. As long as they take it up at the end because of what they've been
But they
shown.
they
If they've
won't.
been shown the truth and given a solution to it, it'd be a fool not to take it, regardless of how that solution is presented. I feel much like the Mad Hatter. I am actually like killing your sanity and slowly.
No, you're not. Well, you're killing my sanity, but I'm not gonna become Alice from this. I'm having trouble trying to say my point.
I get the point you're making. I'm just spinning your words like a freaking dreidel and using them against you.
But no,
to support my argument.
You're just saying with a little bit of convincing.
Yeah, and then supporting my point with logic. So
The logic
obviously by the comment you just made, you haven't been listening to any of my argument
No,
whatsoever.
no, I have. I'm just using that point because that's what you've said the most. But the basic point is that the most powerful Jedi who firmly believe, like, fought a war basically for civil rights. That is kind of what the Clone Wars is. It's a war. The majority of it is the mass production of clones they don't think is right. The ability to give, in some parts of the Senate, is to make sure everyone has what they need and is given all of the rights they deserve, especially Twi'leks. Twi'leks are part of a whole sex trade. There's also the what is the company called? The something trade.
Trade Federation.
Thank you. There's the Trade Federation. It's basically like the whole. Actually, now that I think about it, it's like the whole American history kind of put into one war.
That's not exactly how I took it, but I'm sure that's their side citations for it.
It's very political too.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm getting off track. I guess I'm just someone who would never want, like, pure happiness. It'd be boring, like,
Not in
because Mad
Wonderland.
Hatter's idea of happiness, if going by the books, would just be tea time. Like, it'd be sitting in one hat shop doing these daily, like, routines that don't change. There's no flavor to it. There's no. Yes, it might be in Wonderland, but it's not like Alice in the movie or in the books where she can explore on her own. And she can, like, make these new memories.
That's not necessarily true.
Because we've proven that the moment someone, by Hatter, the moment you think something that deviates from what he wants, he's gonna do everything in his power to make sure that you don't think that way ever again.
Depends on who it is. Depends on what your use is to him.
I guess?
No, because like there's a difference between like the henchmen that you see, which they're
Yeah, I
literally
know.
just there to be his servants, and then like his Alice's, because yeah, he does break them to a point and give them like false identity disorder, but they still evolve. There's still adventures. There's still like things that go on in Wonderland besides just the
But either way,
same.
like, Ahsoka wouldn't have any of her friends. She wouldn't have her family. She'd have the Hatter and these make-believe images that he's getting from her brain. I also do not think Darth Vader... I do not think he'd win at all against Darth Vader.
Of course he wouldn't. I bullshit my way through that argument. I told you I'm just messing with you the whole time. Yeah, Darth Vader would destroy him. He would destroy anybody. He's the immortal. Yes. Yes, he would win. Very easily. He's Darth Vader. Yes.
You keep saying yes like I wasn't trying to prove this. I'm so mad right
You
now.
weren't. You weren't proving anything.
You know what? You know what? I completely understand Harley Quinn now. Like, I think I get it.
Does that make me the Joker?
No, I think I get the need to want to like explode things now.
Okay, I love you. Bye bye.
No, I'm kidding.